What's going on YouTube? Cloverbell's here back with another Scarlet Violet video, and today we're going to be finally doing some team building for Regulation 8, and we're going to start things off with Alolan Ninetales, a very popular choice amongst many of you. I know I see it everywhere, you know, on these showdown tournaments so far, and I've seen it a lot in the open ladder. And it's a good mon, right? And it is so much better than Abomasnow. Thank goodness this thing has arrived, because Abomasnow just, you know, was a little bit underwhelming. But Alolan Ninetales is actually just so much better. It just takes everything about Snow and takes it to another level, right? Snow Cloak, again, with, not Snow Cloak, I'm sorry, Snow Warning, just gives you that defense boost in Snow. And if you look at its stats, right, you know, base 73 HP, not all that great, but realistically, you're gonna like almost max this. And then over here, you know, special defense is already like pretty darn good, triple digits, you know, base 100. Now you get a +1 boost to defense, and now all of a sudden you become hard to remove. And then of course, you get access to Aurora Veil, which, you know, it's basically Grimmsnarl screens. And then now your entire team is just enjoying the bulk, and, you know, behind the light clay, you're just sitting behind all this bulk and then just dealing big damage behind it, and then just slowly withering your opponent down, and then eventually until they just cannot break you, and then you win the game, right? And that's the whole idea behind Alolan Ninetales. And then Ice Fairy is actually pretty good typing. Okay, you do have to watch out for steel type attacks, of course, but there's not like so much steel coverage running around, right? I understand, you know, heavy slam from Iron Hands or like flash cannon from a Heatran, for example, but like, you know, realistically, still you can switch out, and then at the same time you can intimidate spam, you can switch out into something else. Like you can take and deal with the steel coverage running around. But, you know, that being said, you know, you turn your fighting weakness into a neutral attack, and then at the same time, you know, you are weak to fire, you are weak to rock. Okay, but again, there are ways around that. And realistically, I kind of like Heatran in this slot, because, you know, like we said, like there is rock weakness here, but like not a whole lot, right? And you know, if you want to click the fire move into the Ninetales, you can easily just bring in the Heatran and then catch them with the flash fire. And then sometimes what I was experiencing, you know, in the latter games is like when you're going against like Tornadus teams and they want to either click like Sunny Day, for example, and just get you out of the snow and, you know, cause you to miss Blizzard. This is where like something like Alolan Ninetales and Heatran can be led. And then, you know, you kind of play the safe play, right? You do click Aurora Veil or Blizzard, right? And then if they do click Sunny Day, you might miss or not get off the Aurora Veil, but then your Heatran just gets a stronger heat wave as a result, right? Which is why I kind of like these two as partners. And Heatran very much enjoys screens, right? Because look at its bulk, right? Base 106 defenses, 106 special defense, right? And then realistically, you know, if you just put it behind substitute, for example, then all of a sudden it just gets really difficult to remove, especially like in endgame scenarios, right? So Ninetales, Heatran, this is like my starting point as far as like how I want to build Ninetales. And what we're gonna do is, again, just give you like some ideas and a decent starting point, so this way you can even adapt this team and make it into your own, you know, just based on what you're able to see based on what I'm giving you, right? But that being said, you know, you do great into Urshifu, right? Because you have fairy coverage with Moonblast. Again, like we said, Blizzard spam is really good into the genies, especially Landorus. And then at the same time, you know, Terra Grass options, you know, just Blizzard spam is great. And then even like the Among Us threats, Blizzard is also relatively good into that, as well as your Heatran. So things have to come in and take some notice here, you know, behind Ninetales and Heatran. And then from here, you know, I kind of just like regular standard good stuff, right? You know, just supporting the Ninetales and Heatran. So something like Tornadus, just to give the team a little bit of speed control. And now what you're able to do is just go for Tailwind Screens plays, and then Heatran is really chilling, right? Or Tailwind Blizzard. That's always a play that you can always consider. And then here, again, at the same time, you know, if they want to click Rain Dance and take you out of your snow, then now you just have 100% accurate Bleak Windstorms, and then you can kind of play that game, right? Which is why I also like Tornadus on teams like this, just because if they do want to, you know, manually change the weather against you, you have the tools to make the halfway play, as I like to say, you know? So And from here, then we add something that can maybe even make your snow mode a little bit stronger, and something like Chien-Pao makes a lot of sense here. You know, you can consider like Alolan Sand Slash, or maybe even like the Articuno build again, but I just wanted to just start with something relatively standard because it's still early format, and we don't even actually know the rules of Regulation E, might I add. So, you know, who knows how might this change over time, but, you know, I do like Chien-Pao here. And then, again, remember, Chien-Pao's going to enjoy a nice little defense boost here. Base 80 defense is actually pretty solid, but ideally it's just going to be a standard focus sash set, you know, nothing too crazy that we expect out of here. And then from here, you know, we just got two more options, just surrounded like with physical options. Something like Rillaboom, of course, is going to do relatively well. Another, and again, it's a fake out mon. So, you know, you could even lead Ninetales Rillaboom, click fake out, set up the screens that way. And then at the same time, you have your pivot move of U-turn, bring something else in to enjoy the screens and just keep dealing damage, right? And then from here, you could even just consider something like Urshifu, for that matter. Again, another Pokemon that, you know, has priority, can deal a ton of damage next to Chien-Pao, enjoys the screens. Like, these two can pretty much do all of your damage, even technically these three, if you don't want to bring Tornadus, and then just deal the damage behind the screens, right? Sometimes you might even just switch out this Tornadus for something like, you know, either Flutter Mane, for example, and then just go with like an Icy Wind variant on the Flutter Mane for your speed control option there. Or you can even do something like Iron Hands. And again, another fake out mon that can do relatively well. You can even consider, you know, even Landorus on something like this, where again, now you get another flying type here with, you know, Intimidate support. But ultimately, I still went with the Tornadus at the end of the day, just because I went a little bit speed control, right? So it's a little bit rare to see a squad without, you know, either Flutter Mane and or Iron Hands, but I think it's okay here. And when I was testing it, it felt pretty good. Like, I generally enjoyed the bulk behind the screens, and I got up the Aurora Veil pretty much every single game, and it saved me a lot of games, right? And, you know, just Rillaboom with an Assault Vest, just overall, you know, chilling behind the grassy terrain was just dealing so much damage, and then getting passive recovery. And then at the same time, Urshifu, same idea. It was surviving on like low HP points, but surviving nonetheless, and then able to get off like important surging strikes and KOs. And then that just let me win the game, right? So, you know, this is like a pretty good starting point, right? And if you don't even like Heatran, then you can even just consider something like this, where you can even just use Goldango, for example, like steal coverage altogether. So now you have like Blizzard Make It Rain plays, and then, you know, maybe you can fit in like Hisuian Arcanine over here. So like maybe you can even actually fit in the Arcanine on a set like this, and now you have Chien-Pao, Arcanine, Urshifu, Rillaboom. You know, you get the Intimidate support, you got screens, you got fake out pressure, right? So, you know, it just all depends on how you want to build your squad. And then even like this Ninetales set is not even like set in stone, right? Because, you know, Blizzard, Moonblast, Aurora Veil, what's your last lot? I ended up going with Protect, but you can even do something like Encore, right? So Encore, great support move. This thing also gets Icy Wind, right? So if you want to do that route for a little bit more extra speed control to help out your Tornadus, that's also a play you can even consider. I don't think you need Calm Mind here. Dazzling Gleam is situational. I don't think it's like super great here. Helping Hand is a pretty good one. Just having, you know, all these things just do extra damage. Let me just take this out here. I believe I had the Heatran in this slot. Yep. Okay, but again, just going down the list here of like support moves, like it gets some situational stuff. You know, I'm not gonna fault it. Even like Baby Doll Eyes is also a thing, like, or Charm, right? So, you know, because you don't have Intimidate on the team, so you can even like consider that. But the Aurora Veil is just so good and more than enough altogether. I did not know this thing got Hollow, but you know, even Hypnosis is also like situational. But I digress. Either way, I went with Protect. I think Protect was Precipice Blades. I think Protect was like very, very good in you know, switching things out. But like, this was it. So we went with Ninetales, Tornadus. So you can do this, and then like the priority boys with Rillaboom, Urshifu, and Chien-Pao, and then Heatran, you know, able to help you out with your fire weakness a little bit, because, you know, Ninetales, Chien-Pao, and Rillaboom were a little bit weak to, you know, flare blitzes or heat waves from Chi-Yu. or Arcanine Flare Blitz, which is why sometimes you want to bring in the Heatran into those games and swap it in to be able to, you know, get you some counterplay a little bit there. All right, so now what we're going to do is, now that we have the 6, we're going to just round it out, you know, with movesets, items, Terra choices, and then, you know, show you a couple of my sample battles from the ladder. All right, so let's go. Okay, starting from, not actually the Ninetales, but, oh, actually the Terra type. So, you know, again, like we said, Blizzard, Moonblast, Aurora Veil, Protect. I feel like there's 2 main Terra types you want to do here. Either you go Ghost, for example, where, again, you know, the fake out pressure against you, you can dodge that for that matter. Or the more popular Terra Water. Again, that's going to help you against the fire weakness altogether. So, you know, that's also pretty good there. And then even the steel weakness, right? So Terra Water is able to resist both. So at the end, I went with Water. I thought it was pretty good. Tornadus here, again, this one is going to be Terra Ghost. And again, lots of different items you can put on Tornadus here. Covert Cloak, Citrus Berry, you know, Rocky Helmet, Sky Plate for a little bit more extra damage. I feel like those are best on Chi-Yu Fluttermane teams. So multiple ways of trying to utilize your Tornadus. I ended up just picking Rocky Helmet just because I did like the extra chip damage against some of these physical attackers, especially against like the Ogre Pond shenanigans sometimes. So I just went with that. But anyway, Tailwind, Bleak Wind Storm. I did like Taunt here, and I still like Protect. Now, if you like Icy Wind here, you know, for the mirror matchup, you can definitely consider Icy Wind in that sense. But, you know, I just went with Protect. Chien-Pao here. So, you know, Icicle Crash, of course. We have a Rillaboom on our team. It's a little bit better than Ice Spinner. Then Sacred Sword, and then Sucker Punch, and then Protect altogether. And just like the Tornadus, it's also going to be Terra Ghost. Rillaboom here, Assault Vest, very, very good, especially behind screens. So, you know, almost like a defense boost and even like an Assault Vest boost. And then, you know, you can even do like the Panded Miracle Seed. Wait, and then just even do something like Grassy Glide. Alarm there. You can even do like Grassy Glide here. And then, you know, fake out Wood Hammer, U-turn, Grassy Glide. But ultimately, I went with a little bit more of a bulkier set. But you can definitely do this. I might even like switch to this later on. I'm not entirely sure yet. But, you know, I have been enjoying the Assault Vest. And then in the slot, I was trying High Horsepower a little bit since, you know, it was new. And it was pretty good, right? I had no complaints there. But I also had no complaints with using Grassy Glide. Like, I understand base 55 power isn't all that great anymore, and things are probably going to calc against you, but it's still a strong priority move in grassy terrain with Chien-Pao as a boost. It can kind of compensate for the lack of damage that you lost, you know, with the nerf, but, you know, all in all, still pretty good. And then, you know, Terra Steel, this is for the, you know, the ice weakness, you know, against Chien-Pao, for example, and also against the flying damage that's running around from something like a Tornadus. You're still weak to Chi-Yu, but again, just bait them with the Heatran, right? So then over here, Mystic Water Urshifu, just a strong, bulky, hard-hitting Mystic Water Urshifu that can kind of chill behind the screens, you know, just deal a bunch of damage. Surging Strikes, Close Combat, Aqua Jet, and then Protect. This was the way to go. And then, of course, just simply Terra Water here for a little bit more damage if you wanted. Then over here, Heatran, Terra Grass was the way. I went with Leftovers here. I debated like Life Orb just to give me, you know, a little bit more of a stronger special attacking presence, you know, because there is no Fluttermane here. But all in all, I still went with Leftovers. But, you know, I'm down for, you know, testing Life Orb on this Heatran eventually, right? So anyway, Heat Wave, Earth Power. I went with Substitute actually, right? And then Protect. Now you can go Terra Blast, Terra Grass, but, you know, I have the Rillaboom already, so I'm like, I kind of liked using Substitute in the Trick Room games just because, you know, against like Cresselia teams, for example, or like in the Armor Rouge games, you know, I would just simply lead the Ninetales and Heatran and then click Aurora Veil and or Substitute in front of them. And then, you know, it was basically free damage behind that, right? So I did enjoy those games, but up to you if you want another attack here. But I like Substitute in the end. All right, I think we got all the Terras. Perfect. All right, so now let's just go ahead and do some EVs. All right, so back to Ninetales over here. So ultimately what I decided to do is just go for Modest just to get a little bit more damage out of the Ninetales here. And again, I still kept it to 220 because 176 HP, this will optimize for the Rillaboom Grassy Terrain recovery. So if you just do some quick math, 176, all right, divided by 16, All right, that's perfect. 11 HP recovery per turn. If I did it like this, this is 10.9, so I'm undercutting that. So that would just get me 10 HP recovery per turn. So I just boosted it up to 76. Then you see you have 220 EVs left to play with. I just went with like right around here, you know, just to outspeed like, you know, Goldango and Urshifu's kind of stuff. So just to do this for speed creeping purposes, right? And even like outspeeding Landers is sometimes, right? You know, they cap at 143, so you can definitely outspeed them there. But again, 149 was the main baseline that I wanted to outspeed. Then from here, you know, I just want like nice even numbers here for the optimal Assault Vest, Aurora Veil boosting. And then from here, you know, realistically, wait, what? Nah, 68, 12. Wait, let me just think about this. No, I went with 172 here. Now, this is what I wanted. Yep. So 100 is great, right? We cracked triple digits here. And ultimately, the calc that you want is, of course, you know, just to be able to survive Dragonite E-Speed behind Chien-Pao here. And we definitely do that without a doubt. So if I were to just show you here in the damage calc, as soon as I open it up here, yeah, 220. Let me just go here. Ninetales, Alola, let's just go 50, right, 220. And then again, like I said, 36 investments. If we just go into, not Chien-Pao, Dragonite. Okay, I already have a pre-uploaded choice band set. Terra normal behind Sword of Ruin. You know, against doubles here. This is already pretty good. All right, extreme speed actually just picks up. Wait, oh, sorry, snow. There we go. That's what I wanted. Yeah, I was wondering, like, wait a minute, what? How does this kill, right? All right, there we go. We got this now. So we more than enough live the Dragonite E-Speed shenanigans. Thank God. I got a little nervous there. All right, I was like, wait, what? I did this calc already. All right. The same thing with Tornadus. I've been doing a lot of bold Tornadus, you know, since Regulation D. I just like a physically bulky Tornadus for the same reason. Again, you know, Dragonite, E-Speed shenanigans, sometimes Chien-Pao here. So this time, you know, sometimes I just don't want to have to burn the Ghost Terra. So ultimately, I just did something like this with like 196 investment. That'll get me the calc that I need. And then from here, it's just all about like outspeeding and speed creeping that 138 benchmark. And then from there, you know, Chien-Pao here, again, just Adamant Nature, 252, 252. Nothing else really needs to be said here. Just a, you know, a standard sash set. Did I get all the EVs down here? Yeah, I did. All right, now the main thing here also, I want to jump to the Urshifu a second before I go back into the Rillaboom. But with Urshifu, the main thing is just, again, don't speed tie your own Tornadus, right? Because they all want to be floating around like that 138 to 143 range. So as long as you outspeed or underspeed your own Tornadus by 1, at the very least, you'll know your own speed tier, right? So this is what a lot of Urshifus go at the bare minimum. A lot of them also just go to 140 altogether. But we're just gonna go to 140. Do I already speed? Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about, right? This is an ultimate speed tie, right? So, you know, realistically, you can just make this 142, and then, you know, just speed creep from there. But ultimately, 44. 156, you know, this is the EV bump here. And again, if you're trying to play competitive Pokemon and you don't know what EV bumps are, make sure you comment in the video description below asking what are EV bumps, because they're a very fundamental concept, right? Everybody needs to know what they are, but I always get a few people that ask what are EV bumps every single time, but we always have an answer every single time, right? Because we have new viewers with every viewer, right? So I always want to explain it every chance that I get. Right. Then from here, you just dump the rest into special defense like this, you know, just to get a nice little, you know, even investment there to optimally enforce your Aurora Veil there. All right. Heatran here. So modest set. I just, you know, with leftovers in grassy terrain, 192 is always my benchmark here. And again, 12 HP recovery per turn is always really, really nice. About 156 investment, you know, second EV bump here and the special attacking nature. So this way our Heatran can do, you know, a decent amount of damage. Right here, 107, you know, at least under Tailwind will outspeed Dragapult. And then just pretty much just divide the 70 to it, you know, into 36 evenly. Right. And that's pretty much it. That's really all I want out of my Heatran, just in terms of like bulk and damage. But I think we did it. Oh, yeah. All right. Now the Rillaboom. So, you know, my old set used to be this, you know, and people always know this, right? From my Sword and Shield days, you know, 192 HP investment, you know, same like Heatran, optimal for the grassy terrain recovery. 196 here, 52 here, which again will survive Dragonite E-Speed shenanigans. And this was the set I've used for a very long time, but I have since decided to drop it a little bit. You know, let's go to 116 here because, you know, we have a Chien-Pao here, and then ultimately a little bit less in the defense, you know, because we have screens here, and then just ultimately just max out the HP like this. You know, a bulky Rillaboom set, you know, it can take Chi-Yu hits, you know, because we have a little bit more HP in that department. But all in all, like, screens really makes this team a little bit hard to remove, right? Rillaboom, Urshifu, Heatran, these are all like bulky Pokemon that, you know, you're gonna have to invest a little bit more attack because the Ninetales screens really makes it hard to remove them, especially like our bold Tornadus. You know, we're just sitting there clicking Bleak Wind Storms, right? And sometimes, you know, to get out of the snow, they just click Rain Dance, and then thanks, you know, you just made my Bleak Wind Storm 100% accurate. So this is it. We'll put the paste here, and again, it's just a pretty solid starting point. You know, if you really want Flutter Mane in here, or if you really want Iron Hands, though, those are two very good Pokemon. You can just drop either like Urshifu or Tornadus altogether and just put one of them in there, you know. But you definitely want to keep like Chien-Pao, Rillaboom, Heatran. Like, these are the three that I think have to stay. But the Ursh and the Tornadus are a little bit more flexible. It just really all depends how you want to make the squad. But, you know, I've enjoyed the speed control here with Tailwind. I've also enjoyed, you know, fake out Surging Strikes pressure. It's just been really good. All right, so now what we're going to do is just show you a couple games here, just so you can see how the team plays, and, you know, you can see how I lead some matches, and then just see how bulky the Ninetales just makes itself, as well as the entire team. All right, so this is pretty much virtually a mirror, right? He's got Rillaboom, Ursh, Tornadus, and a Heatran, and he has the two differences. He has he has Flutter Mane and the JPEG Ursaluna, right? This is almost what my team could be, but we have the difference in setting screens here. And the thing is, he has a Sunny Day Tornadus, and I know that because I looked at his sheet. So he's going to boost his Flutter Mane, Photosynthesis, he's going to boost his Heatran, which is totally fine, right? And we're going to bring the Heatran as well, just in case, right? So this is how we lead. He goes Tornadus, he goes Heatran. So he's going to go Sunny Day all together, right? Here's Ninetales, here's Tornadus. So ultimately, I kind of have to just see, you know, who's got the faster Tornadus, right? Like, he's going to click Sunny Day, without a doubt. And he's going to click Heat Wave on the Heatran. So I'm going to go Terra Water. I'm going to try and click Blizzard anyway. Right, you know, if this was a best of 3, you know, at the very least, it's information for game 2. But ultimately, my plan is to just taunt this Tornadus so he can't use Sunny Day or Tailwind, and then from there, just keep spamming, you know, Blizzard, right? So here we go. I do manage to go for the taunt, which means I have the faster Tornadus, and he was going for Sunny Day. I get the Veil off. He actually misses my Ninetales, does Tornadus chip damage, right? So now he goes into Grass. I don't know why he did that. I guess he has Terra. I did know eventually he wanted to just try and remove the Ninetales because Terra Blast, Terra Grass. But again, I already got the Aurora Veil. So I'm kind of just chilling here. Blizzard, great damage into both Heatran and Tornadus. And Bleak Wind Storm, minuscule damage because of our Aurora Veil. And Terra Blast, he can't even remove the Ninetales anyway. So that's good news for me. More Blizzard spam, we remove the Tornadus, which is great news for me, and Bleak Wind Storm just removes the Heatran, and now we have all this momentum, right? So Ninetales Tornadus working out great here, and now he has Flutter Mane and the Ursaluna here, so my job is to just get as much damage on the board as possible, and then just let my Heatran in the back finish things off, along with my Chien-Pao here. So we get some super effective damage into Ursaluna. We do miss that Bleak Wind, but that's okay, right? And again, we're still sitting behind the Aurora Veil. All right, Hyper Voice, and again, Ninetales lives, and so does Tornadus. The Veil is just so good here, and, you know, we're going to just go into Heatran here. I want to preserve the Tornadus a little bit, but again, just more Blizzard spam, a little bit more damage as much as possible, and here is yet another Moonblast, right? So the whole idea is, again, we have 3 more turns of Veil, but I also want to, you know, reset my Tailwind, so this way I have the speed against this Flutter Mane here. So here's the Tailwind, here's Heat Wave. We connect on both, very good damage. He kills the Tornadus. I know he's got Earth Power against his Heatran, so that's unfortunate. I do lose 2 Pokemon there, but I got a Chien-Pao here with Sash, and this is pretty much the game. He can't really do much over here, right? Because again, we have Sash, So all we have to really do is just always attack the Ursaluna here. And even if the Flutter Mane gets me down to Sash here, which exactly what he does, we have Sucker Punch Pressure to end the Flutter Mane, right? So he almost got the game on me, but you know, because we have a Sass on this Chien-Pao, we were able to come out on top. But again, you saw the difference in the Aurora Veil. This is why Ninetales is so good. Okay, he's got this Politoed Rain Team with Basculegion along with Gothitelle. You already know, like, this is Parastrong shenanigans. And there is the Ogerpon here along with Basculegion. I just don't know why there's a Raichu here. Like, I kind of understand why, but there's not enough electric coverage here. Like, that might be for Iron Hands, but that thing is not stopping Iron Hands. Let's be real here. So the idea is just to win the Weather War. You know, just pivot in the Ninetales against the Politoed and probably just use the Rillaboom. And from there, it's just, you know, maybe even bring in the Urshifu and take advantage of the rain altogether. So that was my thought process there. So here's the Politoed, here's the Basculegion, Tornadus, and Urshifu, right? And again, I got Ninetales in the back here. So I can ultimately make a choice. I can take him out of the rain and, you know, get the Basculegion back down to regular speed and outspeed it and just hit it hard with, like, Surging Strikes. But, you know, at the end of the day, I just ultimately did decide to bring in the Rillaboom, put on pressure against both of these things. Just go Terra Water. Like, he does click Surf here for some reason. This is like some gimmick set here. There's the eject button. He's going to Ogerpon, maybe like thinking I'm clicking Surging Strikes there. But I clicked the correct slot there and just aim for the Basculegion here and just ultimately just remove it right away, turn 1. So good idea, but not in the right slot. Okay, so now we remove one threat off the board, and now here comes the Politoed. So he goes into Fergraph there thinking like I might click Fake Out, and I kind of, you know, in a way accounted for that, which is why I went for Protect here and then just simply straight up Woodhammer. But, you know, I covered just in case he stayed in, right? But this is like so much more damage against Fergraph. But it's a good play by him, but ultimately I don't need to fake out a Politoed when I can just kill it, right? That's the idea. You don't need to fake out something if you can just kill it. Same idea where like Sleep Powder shenanigans, you don't need to click Sleep Powder if you can just kill the target, right? So I would have just swapped it into the Ogerpon slot. But anyway, I pop a berry, pops up. All right, and then all together, again, now we're still in the driver's seat here. Just go back into Tornadus here, and there's the ally switch. I don't know why he does that, but, you know, that's still fine. You know, here's, again, Woodhammer pressure, just removing the Ogerpon, right? So thanks for giving me that. But here comes the Politoed yet again, and now there's no switch that he can do. So there's the Protect, you know, still fine. You know, again, Bleak Wind Storm, 100% accurate here. He's just really delaying the inevitable here. Like, Hyper Voice does pretty good damage, but not enough. You know, so Rillaboom just kind of just chilling here. Let's go into Chien-Pao here. I don't think this was necessary, but, you know, again, there's the Woodhammer. I could have even just Bleak Winded, but, you know, I just wanted to have a little bit of fun. But again, there's the Chien-Pao here, and now we go into the Urshifu yet again. You know, there's Sucker Punch, Armor Tail shenanigans, but again, Surging Strikes is just able to pick up the Fergraph there. All right, this one's another Basculegion Rain team, but this looks like a Regulation D team. I don't see anything new here, but ultimately he's got 2 dragons here. You know, great. You definitely know he wants to bring back Excalibur because I'm going to bring the snow to change his weather, but doesn't really matter. We'll see. So here's Urshifu Rillaboom. Fake Out Surging Strikes pressure is on my side. He brings the Pelipper, so thank you for making my Urshifu do more damage, right? But I have a decision to make here. You know, of course he's going to be able to resist my Urshifu, you know, in that sense. We do have Fake Out pressure, so we have that going for us. But ultimately, what I wanted to also do is just take the Pelipper out of the rain and not make his Hurricane 100% accurate. Now, that being said, that's going to give the Excalibur a defense boost, so I have to be aware of that. All right, so ultimately, maybe even like Chien-Pao was a good bring here. But I mean, I went into the Ninetales here, and I went for the close combat. So this probably was a questionable play, but it ends up working out because he goes for Icicle Crash into the Rillaboom set, and there is the Tailwind, right? So all in all, still okay. You know, I just go into Chien-Pao here just to save the Rillaboom. I should have did that turn 1, by the way. He goes for Earthquake, so he's doing more damage. But again, like Ninetales is just chilling here. You know, the defense bulk that we're getting with Chien-Pao and Ninetales is actually really, really nice. And there's the Aurora Veil, so more bulk now for my side, right? So he goes into his own Chien-Pao, which is very interesting because that's just free Moonblast. I don't know why he wide guarded here. I don't know where, in what world I would try and Blizzard there when it's like resistant and neutral there. Just always go for Moonblast. Good single target damage altogether. Helping hand, but just Sucker Punch there. So that's a bad play from our opponent. And then this is just free Moonblast from the Ninetales. And we get a special attack reduction against the Pelipper, which is great. So now he's not doing any damage. We can almost ignore it. But here's the Dragapult. I probably should have just protected the slot in all honesty. And then just, you know, click more pressure against the Dragapult with Moonblast. That was a misplay on my end. But we're still fine because we have Rillaboom here. We can fake out. We can just hit him hard with the Dragapult here. So like there's the fake out. And then here is the Moonblast. You know, just getting the Pelipper off the board just in case he wanted to reset his rain against my Snow. Here's the back Scalper again, but Terra Steel Rillaboom saves the day. We remove the backs. He goes for, you know, nothing because we went for the Windhammer first anyway. So, you know, all in all, a great game from Terra Steel Rillaboom as well as our Ninetales. All right, I remember this one. This one was a little bit annoying. You know, he's got the Wire Deer here with Trick Room shenanigans. He's got the Matcha Latte thing, the Sinistra. And then also, of course, he's got the Ogerpon Wellspring. So that's going to be pretty good against our Urshifu. But in the grand scheme of things, I do like Ninetales here a little bit. You know, again, just to be able to set up screens here. You know, if he does want to go for the Trick Room stuff. Ninetales Rillaboom was my lead. So I can do like fake out Aurora Veil shenanigans. And he does Intimidate, so that's not great for my Rillaboom, but that's okay. Because we can always just switch out. And there's my free Aurora Veil. There's Trick Room. That's good. That's okay. I'll trade your Trick Room for my Aurora Veil. Skill Swap was a thing that I did not expect because he did not give me the open team sheet. So now this Empoleon is +2. My Rillaboom lives thanks to Assault Vest and the Aurora Veil. I go into Chien-Pao here to try and put pressure. I know there's Trick Room, but again, this is just free Blizzard spam from the Ninetales. We pop the berry there, so that's, I guess, decent in a way, but we do heal him back up. Protect from the Empoleon. Again, more skill swap. So again, just, you know, stalling his own Trick Room for that matter in this sense, right? But he gets a little bit more HP. I click Protect Chien-Pao here. I want to preserve it. So he actually double targets it, you know, trying to break Stash. But again, more Blizzard spam. And again, his Trick Room is on the clock here. We stalled yet another turn. It's his last turn. Let's go into Urshifu here. And again, he goes for skill swap. He's getting the Empoleon boost. But our Urshifu's tanking this, right? Because we resist and we have the Veil. More Blizzard spam, slowly withering away this Wire Deer. He's also slowly, withering away our Aurora Veil and our Snow. But here comes Chien-Pao here. I tried to close combat, but again, he goes for Terra Flying. Great play by him. Great Terra. But he went for the Ninetales. He actually ignored the Urshifu because he went for Trick Room on the Wire Deer. So that benefited me in a way. But again, just clicking Aqua Jet and Sucker Punching the Empoleon finally gets it off the board. And he removes the Chien-Pao instead of the Urshifu. So I kind of had to pick there because he figured, oh, I've got Ogerpon for the Urshifu. But we got Rillaboom back here. We got Fake Out Pressure if we need to have it. All right. But I just want to protect here. And there's the Terra Blast. He tries to remove the Ursh, but I just want to repivot out. A little bit of chip onto the Ogerpon. Get the Ninetales back in here. Just for Snow Spam and Blizzard Spam shenanigans. All right. Let's go back into Rillaboom here. Terra Blast. Rillaboom survived, which is great. Leech Seed is something I did not expect, but it is a good move. And we do get the magical freeze that I was fishing for the entire game. But again, there's the Follow Me yet again. So that means super effective U-turn. Looks really, really good. Here's Urshifu. And again, we take the opportunity to go for the Aurora Veil. I could have easily Blizzard there, but I didn't. I wanted to get the bulk back going. All right. So there's another Follow Me. Here's more Blizzard. I can't believe that didn't kill Ogerpon, but there's the removal with the close combat. And the Wire Deer stays frozen, which is the whole idea here. His last mon is the Urshifu Dark against Ninetales, and he can't win against that because all we have to do is just remove the Wire Deer, and the Ninetales kind of just wins against the Urshifu Dark, right? So let's go back into the Pokebase here for some final thoughts. All right, so there you have it. There's a starting Alolan Ninetales for you guys to be able to use and try and adjust on your own. And again, if this is something that you need help with, if you're trying to do team building for Regulation E, if you want to be able to create EV spreads like I showed you here, feel free to sign up for team building session on the channel. It's a tier 3 sub. And if you click the video description, you should be able to see the link, or if you look in the comment section, there is a pinned comment to be able to join the channel with that tier 3 sub. It's very affordable. It's only $10. And again, every single video has the join button. So if you want to do that, 3 different ways to join the channel. So feel free to sign up for team building if you're trying to compete in a tournament, if you just need something to get going on online ladder, or if you're trying to go for a future regional, definitely sign up for team building. But like I said, you know, the official rules is not out yet, but you know, one would imagine, because you know, stuff like Ogre Pawn and the trio is allowed already on ranked ladder, one would imagine that they would stay that way, right? But anyway, let me know what you think of this Alolan Ninetales theme, and you know, if you got your own Alolan Ninetales team, let me know what you're rocking with. But we'll be back with another video in the next one, guys. Peace out and have a good one.